Captain's Log, Supplemental. Well, this is going to be a mess to explain to the Admiral. So, we were investigating a spatial anomaly on our way to our next mission. And it turns out it was an unstable wormhole. Unfortunately, when it opened up, we were too close and we got caught up in it, and it spit us out into the atmosphere of a pre-warp civilization. We came out right near what looked similar to a 21st century Earth flying craft. And needless to say, they looked quite surprised. They veered away erratically, but were luckily able to avoid crashing, and we exited the atmosphere before there was any more contamination of the planet. Now we just have to make it back home. It's going to be a long couple months back to Federation space.
Welcome back to another episode of Captain's Log Supplemental. My name is Rob, and as per usual, I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Stanford.
Hello.
And Chris.
Hello. As
well as our producer, Mariah.
Hi there.
How's everybody doing this week?
Pretty good. Have off tomorrow, 4th of July, which that's nice.
Yes,
we are going for me.
We're recording on July 3rd. So that means that you may hear some fireworks. I'll try to edit them all out, but welcome to America.
America, fuck yeah.
Not doing too bad though. We started the new season of Prodigy.
I haven't watched that yet.
Oh, how is it?
It's pretty good so far. We watched 2 episodes, and the setup seems pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't know, it's one of those things where it's I can't say too much about it because it's a kid's show, so
sure.
It's entertaining enough, and
right.
Liam and I are enjoying it together. Would I watch it on my own time as a full-grown adult? Only maybe.
I mean, eventually we will, I guess.
Well, yes, because we have a reason to.
Oh man, so I went on a Star Wars binge sometime last year. And I was like, okay, I'm going to watch the entire franchise in chronological order, right? And I made it through the first 8 episodes of Clone Wars before I just jumped ship. I can't, man.
I tried to get through an episode of Clone Wars and I couldn't. So you beat me.
Yeah, I mean
it's just
it's definitely better than that as far as enjoyable for an adult to watch. I'm not going to hit on Clone Wars. It was meant for kids. It was made that way. So I think it was good enough for that. But yeah, I mean, I think Prodigy is definitely it's not a regular Star Trek episode. It definitely doesn't have any of the the more in-depth looks at, cultural things in society. But it's a fun space adventure.
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to get into Clone Wars and Rebels because, 1, my sister was really into them and said that they were both good. And 2, there's a lot of lore crammed into both of those shows.
Well, Clone Wars has a lot of episodes. That's not a short show.
Is it 8 or 9 seasons?
Yeah, plus they have a newer series that came out that's kind of tacked on to the end of it called Bad Batch.
Bad Batch, yeah.
So it's a lot of episodes of shows.
It is. So anyway, I just wound up watching some YouTube wrap-ups on each season.
Yeah.
And I think I got the gist of it.
Yeah.
So.
Is that the modern Cliff Notes? Is that what that is? The YouTube wrap-up?
Yeah, I think so.
I watched Ahsoka, so I got pretty much all I needed to out of that. I'm good on the Clone Wars story.
Well, my understanding is there's a lot of rebels in there too. Because isn't she looking for one of the characters from that show?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. There was. Well, I mean, because in between the two, because Ahsoka was in both Clone Wars and Rebels, so.
Yeah.
I believe the General was too. She was.
There was a number of characters that popped up in both.
God, anyway. Sorry, what a shit show. Ahsoka was terrible.
I mean. Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's I'm not sure what Disney was trying to pull off with that show because it didn't seem like it was fan servicey enough to just be a fan service show.
So yeah, for me, I didn't hate it. I didn't particularly like it. It just was.
I don't know how you so badly use Rosario Dawson. Like, she's such a good actor, and they're like, make sure when you're on screen, you do not fucking act.
Good.
I haven't watched it yet, so I can't give a verdict.
I mean, like, it's standard, like bad current TV where it's like, the dialogue is shit. The acting is okay for some of it, but other parts...
There's
like,
fun special effects.
Who's writing this?
Yeah.
The special effects are phenomenal. Like, they're really great. Like, if you want to watch some cool special effects, watch that. Yeah.
This was a great show for me to watch at lunch.
And there's some there's some gorgeous people in it. Like...
Sure.
Anyway, now that we've derailed a Star Trek podcast into Star Wars, maybe we can get back into some Star Trek here.
Can we? Are we going to with Carpenter Street here?
We are not.
Well,
for the uninitiated, Captain's Log Supplemental is a Star Trek rewatch podcast. Each week, we cover another episode of Star Trek, marching ahead in chronological order by stardate. We would appreciate if you could like or review us on your podcast supplier of choice. The ratings go a long way to helping us reach out to Star Trek fans. As Stanford mentioned, this week's episode was named Carpenter Street. We're on season 3, episode 11. Oh boy! So we we open with we're watching a human doing a poor job of parking a car on a street in Detroit. A car with wheels, mind you, which is the first hint that this is not the far future.
So so let me quick opinion here. When this scene opened, did y'all think it was like the 70s?
Yeah.
Yes, because his car was shit. His car was like this old, like 70s car, and so was at least one more on the street.
Well, his clothing was too, right? It was very very 70s.
It did. It was, and that's what. So he goes into his apartment and grabs a beer and like rips the tab, or he like pops it like it's just like a regular beer can, and I'm like, those tabs didn't exist until like 89 or 91 or some shit. So like, wow, there's a weird continuity error. But then the phone rang and it was like a wireless phone. And I'm like, oh, this isn't the 70s right now.
Which is weird because so it's 2004. So I guess, cordless phones are still in use, but like, I feel like we're firmly in cell phone era at this point.
I mean, my parents still had a wireless one.
I think we were still in the era of like, if you're a poor person, you may not have a cell phone. I had one because we graduated high school in 2004, and I definitely had a phone for my last 2 years of high school. But it was like one of those old, like Nokia brick kind of things.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a T-Mobile flip phone. I got it in 10th grade.
I think I had like a pay-as-you-go phone. For like
Chris had a burner.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's because I didn't have to get my parents to get me a cell phone plan, so.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So
as Chris mentioned, we are back in 2004, and that's right, this is a time travel episode in Enterprise.
We definitely make sure that we get a good long look at the fact that he keeps his pizza in the bathroom.
Oh my god. Why the bathroom? He has a fridge.
He had a fridge. Well, that's where his beer is, Chris.
There was a lot of space in that fridge, man.
His beer brand beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our mysterious John Doe here takes a phone call from a mysterious contact who turns out to be a reptilian Xindi. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I couldn't, like, they kind of panned to his face, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't remember that that's what the Xindi reptilians look like. So I just thought it was just like some generic ugly alien. So I was like, ew, Butterface, you know, what the fuck?
Multiple times, Stanford.
I'm not good at keeping track of shitty aliens, okay?
Do I have a story to tell you about shitty face makeup later? So anyway, we get a dramatic, sharp jab from the horn section straight into Jingle Jangle Faith of the Heart.
Jingle bells. That's what
Never not jarring.
I feel like they're doing it for comedic effect at this point.
I mean, I think that intro provides comedic effect no matter what. So
I guess so.
It's like a joke.
It's just so weird. And like, what's interesting is like, as we've dived into a couple of these episodes, we found out that like this little cold open has had to what?
Don't fucking do that.
Don't do what? I'm
talking to Lauren. She fucking.
I was trying to be quiet.
No. She fucking like I'm like facing the wall, talking into my microphone. I just see her fucking head come into my peripheral vision, like a psycho. Jesus Christ!
Oh god! I was like, Jesus, what did Rob do? It didn't sound like he did anything wrong.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
While he's dealing with his domestic issues, man, I'm the most easily startled person ever, as Mariah can tell you. Like, so anytime she's like anywhere near me in this room, I'm like, God, fucking hell.
I've had to wake you up for classes we didn't go to.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much noise I make.
No,
and
it's
he gets
always
mad at me no matter what.
Well, because I'm deaf as
you did that on purpose. No,
like, you do it on purpose when you
I'm
yell
just tired
honey,
of trying because I get yelled at no matter
honey
what.
as loud as you can right next to me when I didn't know you were there. That is you doing it on purpose.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I gotta say it's she's not on purpose getting me back, but I don't know how many times I've just like surprised her in the bathroom. Not that I've done anything in particular. Like she'll just be like doing her makeup, and I'll like come into the bathroom, and then she'll be like, bah!
When you're like, I can't tell you how many times I surprised her in the bathroom. It's like she was doing her makeup, and I leapt out of the shower behind the curtain and went, blah!
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing to your wife?
No, nothing like that. I'm literally just entering the bathroom like a regular person.
Yeah, rub it in.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, real quick segue here. Have either of you watched the movie on Netflix called Life?
No.
It's like a sci-fi horror movie.
No.
Okay, do either of you have any intention of watching it?
I doubt it.
With that sci-fi horror movie, yeah, I'll fucking watch it, but it's also a horror movie, so I doubt it's going to be real unpredictable.
Yeah. The reason I bring it up is there is a anatomically accurate paraplegic biologist aboard the ISS that
Oh shit, fuck, yes, I did see this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That thing fucked him up. The life was like, it's like made of elastic and it strangled the shit out of people.
Yeah, like I was
man, that movie
sad.
was great. Shit.
I'm sorry,
Like,
wait, and what's an anatomically correct paraplegic?
He winds up dying because this monster. Jesus Christ!
What did he say?
He had legs. So he winds up dying because the monster like basically gnaws his leg apart, but he can't feel it. So he didn't realize it was there, and it was the saddest and most shocking scene of
Oh my
the entire
God.
movie.
Was that the Asian guy in that movie? I want to say he's like a... Oh no, that was the other guy. There were some real actors in this movie.
Yeah.
Was the
Ryan Reynolds.
paraplegic actually actor actually paraplegic?
Well, given that it was all like CGI space no gravity, probably not. No, that movie, man, Ron, I don't know what you're talking. That movie was great. I love that movie.
I liked it. It was just real fucked up.
It was the right kind of stupid, but like in a fun way.
Yeah. I loved how
Wait,
over the top Ryan Reynolds' character was.
That's right, it's Ryan Reynolds. I was like, there's a real actor in there somewhere. That's right, it was Ryan Reynolds.
There's a couple real actors in that.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry for the interruption.
Oh, that's okay.
Just pooped myself a little bit. That's fine.
Surprise poops are the best kind of poops.
I disagree. Hard disagree.
So anyway, we cut back from the jingle jangle to John picking up a sex worker on the street, pretty clearly with ill intentions. Not if he was trying to be discreet, it was not or it was not well covered.
That's okay though, because these are the least suspicious prostitutes that have ever existed.
That was my note. Was like, these have just no instincts for survival at all.
You'd think on the streets of Detroit that they would have learned a thing or two, but this guy's like, here, smell this rag. And I shit you not, that's basically what happened.
Well, and like she gets in the car and he's questioning her about like making sure that she's got the right blood type. And then she's just like, oh, that's right, you work in the lab. This isn't weird or creepy at all.
She's like, if that's drugs, I don't want none of it. I'm like, yeah, you should get out of the car now.
Yeah.
It's clearly not regular drugs.
Yeah.
He's gonna fucking chloroform you.
But that's all right. He said
definitely
they
chloroform.
won't hurt you, as he deposits her next to like a bunch of other unconscious people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So yeah, He then shoots her up with presumably a sedative.
Wait, they actually named this sedative, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was either.
Hexamenthol or some shit.
Sure. So John pulls up to this chain link gate, and then I thought that he was buzzing in with a secret password because he said
it's just
Loomis.
his name. It's
That's
just
his name.
Yep.
Yeah, I realized that after reading the wiki entry. His name is Loomis. Buzzes in, does the fireman carry for the victim in the delivery here, hooks her up to an IV, does not flush the line, and then just picks up his payment in a briefcase and takes off.
He does this all day, though. I mean, he works at a blood thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he flushed it earlier. Clearly I don't know what you're talking about.
I hate everything about this. But anyway, we then jump back to current time with Archer grabbing a late night snack. Porthos gets some cheese.
Oh my god, we have 2 back-to-back bingos right here.
Damn it, you beat me to it. Yeah, that's like 2 fucking back-to-back bingos.
So yes, this is the first time since that first season that Porthos actually got some cheese.
Yep.
Yeah, on camera.
I don't have... Oh, there, I do have that one.
And
the other one?
As Porthos is eating the cheese, motherfucking Daniels shows up.
Yeah.
Which I did not realize we were going to see him again.
Oh, I got Daniel right next to that.
Yeah. So Daniels ghosts into the room. Archer, less than pleased to see him.
Archer's a little mad.
Yeah. Daniels, unfortunately, has no info on this Xindi super weapon. He tells Archer that it can take time for changes to ripple out to the rest of the time continuum, which, like...
Okay, bullshit.
Right?
They have already shown in previous episodes that is not the case.
That is actually... Oh, yeah, that's a good point, because they made some change to the timeline, and then he instantly went back to his time, and it was all broken down.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. I was just saying it sounded stupid on its face, but that is an excellent point. That's also not how it worked.
The first of 2 very blatant explain away hand wavy explanations. Because they also, sorry, we'll get to it later, I guess, in just a minute. I'll continue.
Yeah. So Archer remarks that Daniels isn't being super helpful, and then Daniels informs him that there are 3 Xindi in Detroit, Michigan, 150 years in the past.
My note here is Xindi in Detroit.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Archer goes to T'Pol to let her know what's going on. Again,
he
T'Pol rejects the possibility.
With him to her quarters, and she's clearly not happy about it. It's like you couldn't drop Porthos off at your room before. Yeah. Because Porthos curls up on her meditation rug or something, which is adorable. Don't get me wrong. But it's also man, put your fucking dog away. What are you doing?
No, he's got to get ready for another chainsaw apology.
Once again, T'Pol fucking gets it. Because she's like, why didn't Daniels just go fucking solve this problem himself?
This is the other hand wavy explanation.
Yeah.
He's like, it's too much paperwork. He's not gonna...
It's too much paperwork. That's literally what he said.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Although my favorite
when
part
he can time travel.
My favorite part of this discussion, though, is when he's explaining what's going on. He's like, "There's Xindi in Detroit. They've been there for 2 months." What? What does that mean?
Why does that matter?
Go back in time, motherfucker. What are you talking about?
My favorite part is they point it out in the dialogue too. They're like, it seems like he'd have all the time he would need. Yes, that's accurate. This is the writers admitting we can't come up with a good reason.
Yeah. I like how T'Pol is almost like when Deadpool breaks the fourth wall to explain how stupid the plot is. That's what T'Pol does anytime there's time travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, guess who the writer for this week was?
Who?
Brandon Braga.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
It's truly lazy. It's look, we couldn't come up with a good reason why A, the Enterprise crew has to go, and B, why they don't just go back when they get there. So.
Why send Archer?
So anyway, Daniels wants to send back Archer and a +1 to investigate what the Xindi are up to.
It's just 2.
It's got a +1 to the past.
Well, they had to find a reason to convert this into a buddy cop drama. So, so it was a 2-man limit.
Yeah, T'Pol is a bad cop, it turns out.
And they have to go back to 2004, turn and wink to the audience.
So yeah, Archer fills Trip in on the plan, leaves him with a duty roster.
I like how Trip takes the duty roster, and it looks like he immediately is like, I'm changing this shit. And it like just starts hitting buttons.
Oh, man. I'm on PTO this week. Good luck, everybody. Archer and T'Pol then step through a door and are immediately transported back 150 years into the past and 90 light years back to Earth.
Yeah.
Cool.
I thought that was a fun transition.
It was fun. It was totally fine. That didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
It's just they both look a little like, Jesus, well, all right. And T'Pol's still like, can't prove it was time travel.
I like her commitment to the bit.
Staring in the face. Can't be real. So yeah, Archer uses a fun toy. I'm assuming Daniels gave him this thing. I don't know what it is.
It's a tricorder. It's their standard. It's their standard tricorder. T'Pol's got her Vulcan one, but he's just got his standard Enterprise tricorder. It's really cool because the tricorder has these settings where it can like hack into any device except for a car alarm. Can't hack into that. But like a car lock, totally fine. Start the car,
you know what?
No problem.
You know what? Fortunately, it also has a function that lets you search for a car without a car alarm.
Yes, yeah. It can see where the car alarms are because it knows it can't touch those. No.
Yeah, it can't shut off the car alarm.
Nope,
so that's
can't
not an
do
option.
that. Nope.
Heaven forbid.
Unlock the door, totally cool.
Totally fine.
Unfortunately,
in 2004, where door locks, there's a good chance those were not actually like computer driven in a lot of those cars.
Yeah, a lot of them probably weren't even actually locked. If you remember back to 2004.
I don't know. 2004, probably most of them were locked. In the city,
Dude,
yeah.
I mean, in a city, sure. But like, man, I remember my dad gave me a hard time about it when I first started driving. And he's like, we get a discount on our insurance if we say that we lock our car every time.
Okay, then
like,
say that. Like, what the fuck? This?
Dude, we had a club. You remember those?
Hell yeah, baby.
I do remember those.
God.
Yeah, I remember. I specifically remember seeing it on your cars.
Yeah, all of our cars had one. So yeah, Archer uses the fun toy to find one. Unfortunately, it's got a boot on it. The first one they find anyway.
Okay. So I had two scenes in this show that I enjoyed. This was one of them.
Yeah, I like this one.
Only two? Huh. You're both surprising me on this one.
Second car has a Doberman that almost bites Archer's arm off.
The goodest boy, it's protecting the car.
Yeah, but like the owner's clearly an asshole because they left their dog in their car overnight.
That was my note too. Like, who just leaves their fucking dog in the car?
First of all, you don't know how long that dog is staying there. Second of all, the window was cracked. The dog is fine. Like,
oh my God.
He was being a good boy until Archer reached his fucking mitt into the car, and the dog's like, "Yo, get out of here, bitch."
Yeah.
Like, y'all have left Hemi for like an hour in the car. Like, it happens.
I don't know. He left him on a vacant street. It was a little dicey.
Well, regardless, the third car, it turns out, is just right, except for the super loud radio.
Which shouted, Sunday, 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 which is a nice callback to Chris saying, was it good evening, good evening, good evening? Oh, I don't know. You said 3 or something at one point on the podcast.
Yeah, I don't remember.
This is also the second part of the scene that I actually liked. T'Pol asks Archer if he can drive a car, to which he responds, I can fly a starship.
Okay, so...
Those are the same.
I have a problem with this little moment here. Because, like...
Okay.
You know, it's one thing if, like, the show gets something wrong about some kind of esoteric, like, military technology or, like, some kind of really specific science. But, like, everybody watching this show knows how cars work. How the fuck did he shift it without putting the brake on? Like, cars haven't been able to do that on an automatic transmission, I don't think ever, but definitely not since, like, the 60s or 70s.
Reasons?
No.
Like, they were overplaying I don't know how to start the car. I guess I'll try 2 on the DNR, whatever. Like, she had a cultural database that had an entire map of Detroit. She couldn't get one that told them how a fucking car worked?
A map of Detroit from 2004 specifically.
No, 2002. But it was close enough.
2002.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, comically, Archer forgets to turn the headlights on. And then they quickly realize that they also have no gas.
Well, I think that was after driving around for a while.
They drove around for a while because they were on like a search grid.
Right.
It would have been better if T'Pol like pulled the fucking manual out of the glove box and she's like telling him how to drive.
Yeah. So once they realize that they're going to need some money, Archer uses his fun little time toy. Well, I guess it's not a time toy.
Yes.
His tricorder.
Great for unlocking cars, robbing ATMs, but not for shutting off alarms.
Nor hacking gas pumps.
Yeah. So he just goes and prints money out of the ATM.
One bill. He got one bill out of this ATM. He got a 20.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, it was like a single 20.
Hey, that might have been enough to fill up a tank back then.
In 2004, in that truck?
Like, it'd be much closer than it is now, but...
Yeah.
I worked at a gas station very shortly before that, so... For like a big truck, definitely not. But for like a car, you'd be pretty close.
Yeah.
Circle K, right?
Yep.
Lukoil?
Well, it was Circle K, and then it got turned into a Lukoil, yeah.
Damn Ruskies.
Tell you what.
So yeah, we jump back to John picking up his next victim. This
Did
time
you see
a
the
middle-aged
apartment
man in a
number?
wheelchair.
I didn't.
No.
It was 602.
Little wink there for the audience.
I don't understand.
Remember the 602 club?
Oh.
602 was, and because of that club, I only know the trivia. It was like it was a significant number to something with the production of this, which I don't remember the specific thing it was.
I believe it was like an actual club, like / bar that was frequented by Braga. As a matter of fact, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
That sounds familiar. I feel like we looked that up at one point. Yeah. So his next victim doesn't want to leave with Loomis this time because it's so late at night and he doesn't want to miss Conan.
Mm-hmm. I cannot figure out the purpose of that joke.
I think it was just supposed to show that they're in 2004.
Yeah, right.
And people liked Conan.
This dude's in a wheelchair.
Yep.
No, sorry. It will be relevant in a moment.
Oh, okay. Archer and T'Pol, meanwhile, close another Xindi targets. They find them in an old industrial building. Archer warns T'Pol just to set her phase pistol to kill because stun had no effect on them anyway.
My note here is set your phaser to kill. Fuck dem Reptilians.
T'Pol eavesdrops as John pulls up with the latest victim. The Xindi want to wait for John to deliver the last 3 humans to finish paying him, which upsets, I keep calling him John, upsets Loomis. So they offer to double their payment if he can get the last 2 there by tomorrow. I love how John here says,
John?
What's going on? Or John Loomis says, what's going on here is none of his business. He just wants the money. Like, dear Lord, what a horrible person.
This is also where we find out that, like, the reptilians are collecting, like, 1 person of each blood type.
Right.
So they need 8 people because you have A, B, O, and then positive and negative of each of those.
Yep.
That's not how, like, blood typing works. Like, they didn't need that. They could have probably just done with O and be good to go, right?
Because it's the universal donor.
Right, because, like, I guess they're trying to engineer a virus to infect everybody. But, like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know enough about biology, and maybe Mariah can answer this because she actually has a degree in this. But, like, does your blood type matter for how, like, virusy you get?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Yeah, I also questioned what type of virus they were engineering that they needed to somehow engineer it for each type of blood.
It's a blood virus.
Look,
each specific type of blood, including like whether or not it's got the RH factor, which doesn't make any goddamn sense.
In an episode full of hand wavy moments, like this was probably lower on my list.
I guess I don't know what the purpose was, because obviously they just wanted him to have like a goal that he was working toward.
Right.
Well, I think they needed him to have multiple targets.
Yeah,
Right.
it was a plot mechanic, basically.
Yeah.
Something to move the story along.
Yeah. So after the new offer of doubling his payment, Loomis's worries just evaporate, and he agrees to bring them in.
Doubling his payment from $5,000 a person to $10,000 a person, which seems like not a lot of money for abducting people.
Right.
Definitely
and
not.
as he points out, a very traceable abduction of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's 2004, but like 30,000 plus what? I guess he's already made what?
Okay.
He's already delivered five
Well,
other people.
The
so,
sixth one he didn't get paid for. So $25,000 is what he's made so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, that's some money. It's not a lot. It's not like you could go buy a house in a different country or something.
Right.
Also, like, at this point in time, like, medical records are, like, it's going to become real obvious to the police that all of the victims were at the same, like, medical lab.
He said
He
that.
points that out.
He literally says that.
Like, oh, God, I don't know.
I like how Loomis goes back to his apartment. He's like, I gotta find my next victim. And he's like, this one's up too high. This one's just too fat. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
God,
okay.
abducting people
But also,
is hard.
I would just like to point out, motherfucker walked on his bed.
Yeah,
like,
that's
with
a
shoes
thing.
on.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Listen,
He keeps
he
his
has
pizza
in his
in the
bathroom.
bathroom. Yeah.
Like, clearly does not care about the well-being of his apartment. Yeah, so, Archer and T'Pol have followed him back. He gets a little scared when Archer knocks on his door while he's going through these targets for tomorrow.
Archer does look like a cop.
Yep. Archer sees him escaping on a scanner and kicks the door down.
It fails the first time, though.
Yeah. And then follows him down the fire escape. Too bad for John. T'Pol is waiting for him.
Why John? Why do you keep going back to John?
Because I called him John Doe in my notes because I didn't know what his stupid dumb name was. Turns out it's Loomis.
His stupid dumb name is clearly Loomis.
Yeah, okay.
John, it is, man. Like I'm on board. I know who you're talking about. So
I don't like Stanford used to call everybody Steve.
I still do.
Anyway,
Now I lost where I was in my notes.
John is fleeing down the fire escape.
So yeah, too bad for Loomis. T'Pol's waiting for him and hits him with the old Vulcan neck pinch. Archer and T'Pol then return to his apartment and start investigating as soon as he wakes up for an interrogation. Loomis mistakenly seems to think they're cops, which, again, probably for good reason, and then asks for his lawyer. T'Pol unties him at Archer's request so that Archer can punch him without feeling bad about it.
We get everybody's favorite Archer, Interrogation Archer.
I literally just watched like a video essay about how torture doesn't work, and yet in Hollywood, good guys torture people constantly.
All the time.
All the time. Although this particular essay focused on the Call of Duty games, where he was like itemizing all of the different torture scenes across the entire franchise.
There's a lot now that you mention it.
To be fair, I mean, like, people do a lot of torturing in real life. Like, that shit does happen.
Yes, so, but it doesn't work.
Somebody clearly thinks it does. I'm not saying they're right.
He points out that, like it's about 50-50 on bad guys torturing people and good guys torturing people, but, like, the good guys are better at it because they get the information they need more often in that franchise. Right. He's like, see, in Call of Duty's eyes, it's not whether or not torture is good. It's just how effective it is if you're a good guy.
Sure.
Yeah. So, T'Pol, she tries to, like, logic Loomis into a corner here and points out that there's no way that, some random stranger would be doing any legitimate medical research in an abandoned industrial building. Loomis, lets her have that one.
I think this moment too, you said this was written by Braga.
Uh-huh.
I think this moment really belies Braga's age as well, because, like, the writing here has Loomis saying, I didn't really think much about it, and now that you say something like, I guess maybe they might be, like, terrorists or something.
Well, I mean, that's still pretty buzzy.
It is
buzzword
2000. No, I know. My point is that it's 2004. There is absolutely no way that was not the first thought in this man's head.
Oh, sure.
It was 2004. anytime anything happened, we assumed it was terrorists.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like Braga's older, so he's not as affected by that specific, milestone because he's had much more life to deal with. So it didn't come through in his writing. Because like they could have, it's just funny like going back to like a television show from then and being like, oh no, motherfucker, we all thought everything was terrorist back then. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Loomis concedes to Paul's point, but says that he wouldn't have done this if he knew that they were actual bad guys.
Uh-huh. He's a stand-up guy.
He's definitely on the up and up. Loomis says that the Xindi told him that they weren't actually going to hurt anybody, so I guess that makes all of this
Immediately
fine.
believed them.
Yeah. He asks Archer to just let him go at this point, and he promises he's not going to do this again. Again,
nobody
still
believes
thinks
him.
that he's a cop. Yeah, like this is just insane on Loomis's part. So they decide they're going to just take Loomis with them while they go case out the Xindi headquarters again. Loomis convinces Archer to stop at a burger land to get him some food.
This is my other enjoyed scene.
Well, I have a question though before we get to that, because Archer goes like, "Hey, what blood types are you still looking for?" And Loomis is like, "I need B negative and some other shit." And Archer's like, "Well, lucky for you, I'm B negative." Why does that matter?
It doesn't.
It's a sting operation, Archer. Like they're not checking your fucking blood type at the door. Like,
they're trusting this random skeevy lab tech.
They say they did draw his blood, so maybe they would have found him more quickly. Not that he waited that long to.
No, as soon as they drew the blood, he was up and at him. Like,
yeah, he was going Rambo. Archer does get a burger to Paul passes because she's a vegetarian.
Okay,
Archer,
all right.
With the order of a child.
Yeah, a hamburger
Plain
with just
cheeseburger.
ketchup.
Not even cheeseburger, a hamburger with ketchup only.
Now, Paul looks across and says, "Does the Fiesta salad have any animal products on it?" And the lady is like, "We could put some bacon strips on it." There is no way something called the Fiesta salad does not have cheese.
Yeah.
It is covered in cheese.
Yes, absolutely covered in cheese.
Yeah, cheese, salsa, probably.
Yeah.
I found this whole scene to
delicious.
be like silly, but like also, we knew this was going to happen. Like whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, we get the funny haha moment when a tied up Loomis drops a piece of beef onto Paul's lap, and she's super uncomfortable about it.
Has handled dead fucking bodies, and she's going to be squeamish about a little bit of hamburger landing on her. Shut the fuck up. And then the show gets horny.
Wait, did I miss the horniness? What
he was like, "Hey, you want some fries?" And they're like between his legs.
Oh.
Yeah. So, back to the sting operation here. Archer has Loomis bring him in and pretend that Archer's another victim.
Loomis, having firemen carried the first person, realized that was a lot of work. So he just straight up steals that one dude's wheelchair because he doesn't need it anymore and brings Archer in on that guy's wheelchair.
Oh no, I didn't realize that.
It was so fucking funny. I was like, yeah, man, fucking save yourself some work. Yeah. And to be fair, Archer is not a small dude. No. And Loomis is not a huge dude. So like there's no way he's carrying Archer.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's terrible. Yeah, so Archer's left on the table, gets hooked up to the IV.
No alcohol swab, nothing. Just just jam him right in the hand for an IV.
Just raw dogging that. Yeah.
Poke it in, slap some tape on
it. Loomis returns to his station wagon, and T'Pol pulls out a phase pistol and tells him to drive to the second location, which I'm assuming means the second victim.
And
it wasn't really specified.
Here's the second part where I'm like, how old is fucking Braga?
Very old.
He has the actor call it a ray gun.
Yeah.
No one says ray gun in 2004.
We're still on the 70s theme here.
Like, yeah. He's like, oh, you think that ray gun's gonna scare? Ray gun? Just say a laser. Or like, what the fuck is that shit? Or whatever, you know? Fucking ray gun. What is this, the 50s? What the fuck?
Yeah, like Star Wars and Star Trek are both like well established at this point.
Yeah, I do like how Star Trek has to exist in a world that doesn't have Star Trek.
I do enjoy
But
that.
it could
as well,
have Star Wars.
It could have Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, Loomis tells her the ray gun is a cute toy, so she T'Pol demonstrates its effectiveness on the car door.
And it
by
singed the interior panel of that 70s car door real good, so you know she means business. On the kill setting.
The Xindi pay Archer a visit for some blood. He plays it cool and then jumps out of bed after they leave the room.
What a way to draw blood. They draw like straight out of his fucking neck.
Yeah. Right, like
a horse syringe.
Who the fuck draws blood out of a fucking neck? Like, what are you doing?
I guess they don't care, you know?
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they're just assuming they're all knocked out anyway. Like, fortunately, he was able to keep a straight face through it.
Ow.
We find out that T'Pol really doesn't like cigarettes, to the point of using force to get Loomis to put one out. She then hops out of the car. I'm like,
do they still need this guy? Just like stun him and move on.
Right. Like, why is he there still?
T'Pol hops out of the car to take a call from Archer. Archer says that he found the Xindi with a bioreactor. I don't really know what that means.
No, it's a thing.
Apparently
Shut up.
It's mixing a biological weapon.
It's the big metal disc with the paint sticking out of it.
Where you need to put in one of each blood type, and then out comes a virus.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. Meanwhile, John pulls out a knife, or Loomis.
A switchblade, specifically.
Yeah, it's a switchblade.
I mean, maybe I was looking down and we're typing when it happened, but I don't think this switchblade shows back up. Like, it's just kind of there in this little, like, oh, he's got a switchblade, and then, like...
He lunges at T'Pol with it.
Yeah.
Does he? I don't remember.
Yeah, he tries to stab T'Pol.
Yeah, he gets the car seat, as I recall.
Yep.
Oh, shit. That's right. Okay, I apologize. Yes, that's right. He does stab it into the bench, the fucking, the bench seat up front. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, back inside of the Xindi headquarters, Archer just starts blasting. Actually gets one of the reptilians, though.
First, he's scanning with his, like, Sega CD game he's got on his little tricorder there.
Oh, God. Yeah. So after returning some fire, the Xindi grab the virus, which is apparently complete now. Well, at least they got a couple blood types.
They said they're only missing 3/4. Like, because you know how, and this, Mariah can confirm this because she's a biology major. So, like, when you're making a virus and you've got it in the bioreactor and you need all 8 blood types, it makes it as it goes. So, like, when you've got the 6 blood types, like, that virus is already good for those ones. You just have to wait for the other 2 for it to be, fully
That's definitely how it works.
That's how it works, right, Mariah?
I'll take that as an endorsement. Yep.
All right, yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the Xindi grab the virus and book it. Archer calls T'Pol for backup. John drives them to the alley and rolls down the window for T'Pol to, like, awkwardly aim her pistol over his body through. And you could see this coming from a mile away. Loomis honks his horn to warn the Xindi.
It's like, oh man,
tries to stab T'Pol.
He turned out to be a traitor, but they treated him so badly. Why would he do that?
Why are you?
I know.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the horn also distracts the Xindi and lets Archer get another shot off on another one,
which was fine. Like that's a clever little use of, like, the guy trying to help, but then ends up not really helping that much. Like that was fine.
Yep. T'Pol stuns Loomis and then jumps out to help Archer.
I don't know why they needed this, like, awkward, weird close up on her hand, like switching the phaser to stun.
Just to show that she's compassionate.
She could have, like,
it was like a weird half second.
It was a weird close-up.
Yeah.
It was like a weird break of the action. Like, just have the noise
like
go
a
off
very
and call
out
it a
of
day.
context hand.
It is, too. And it's moving so purposefully and slowly. I'm not even convinced it's Blalock's hand, to be honest. Like, it's just weird cut.
Right.
It makes me think that it was like a shot from the B crew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like just to show that T'Pol wasn't heartless, like to prove the point. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
they shot the whole thing, and then they're like, "Wait a minute, we just realized there's a continuity error. Her gun was set to kill, but she only stunned him." And Braga's like, fuck, you nerdy bitches. Fine. And he like films this one scene to throw it in there as like a middle finger to his continuity editor.
Yeah. So the two of them follow the remaining Zindi up to the roof, where he's trying to release the bioweapon by throwing it into a fan duct.
Yeah, that, you know how like Detroit has one fan that distributes all the air around the city? Yeah, that's that fan. It's the Central City distribution fan. Yeah. I was like, what roof is this? Where are we?
Yeah, this is the point where Archer makes the remark that they've only got 6 blood types, which T'Pol points out is still 3/4 of humanity dead. Also, that's not entirely true because there are different percentages of people that have different blood types.
Most people have O, yeah.
No, I think O is the rarest.
No, it's a plurality. It's at least a plurality. I realize it may not be like more than 50%. No, O is double recessive, and yet it is still like a plurality. It's kind of a weird little quirk of genetics.
O positive is 38%, followed by A positive at 34%. And then it's all like
even though
10.
O is double recessive, it is because of like populations of those genes. It happens to be like 38% of
yeah. Both O positive and O negative are top 4. Now O positive is 38%. O negative is only like 7%. But
you're 45%. That's almost half of people are O blood right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Crazy. So anyway, Archer leaps.
Wait. How do we have that discussion? What's everybody's blood type?
O neg.
I'm AB positive.
You're AB? Crazy. I've never met anybody who's AB. I am O pos.
Well, you've met me.
And Mariah is also O pos.
Yeah, say Lauren's O positive. I'm the universal donor. She's the universal recipient.
No,
I'm.
That's right. AB. That's
Rob is the universal recipient. Although scrubbing our H factors is like very simple now, so they're not as concerned about that part as much.
Yeah.
It used to be a lot bigger of a deal, but now scrubbing our H is.
Yep. So Archer leaps from one building to another after telling T'Pol to cover him, which, okay. He sneaks around to flank the Zindi, assumes the tactically superior high ground on top of the rooftop HVAC system.
I don't know how the Zindi didn't hear him scrambling up to this thing that is a foot from him.
And by the way, just shoot him. Like, why are we talking here? Just fucking shoot him.
He wanted information out of him, Chris.
Which they've shown that they could get out of the reptilian Zindi on previous occasions.
You know what? If he had shot him, then he would have like stumbled into the canister and thrown it into the central distribution.
He would have stumbled in the opposite direction from where he was shot.
Shut the fuck up, Chris.
Yeah. So what actually happens is we get a very dramatic slow motion sequence where Archer shoots the Zindi, who then tips the bioweapon canister toward a rotating ceiling fan, which, as we've mentioned, is hooked up to the entire air supply of humanity somehow.
But it's blowing out. It's not even like... I'm not sure what this fan was supposed to be. I'm not sure what
the fan is also not moving very quickly, so that thing might just fall right through and be fine.
But you know what? Don't worry, because Archer catches the canister just in time.
Oh, thank God. I was so worried.
Yeah. So they save the day, jump back forward in time by walking through the front door portal again.
This is a good transition, man. I like this part. This was pretty fun.
I like the transition.
Because Trip is still sitting in the corridor with his fucking duty roster, and he's like, "Is there a problem?" And we're like, "No, we're done."
Which, by the way, I just to point out the dichotomy here, returned to their time at the exact moment they left. Still couldn't go back to the time before.
No. They've been there for 2 months, Chris. They've been in Detroit for 2 months.
Archer takes the weapon to Phlox for evaluation. Back in 2004, the actual police show up to take John in for all of the abductions. Sounds like T'Pol and Archer called in a lead on him, which good, I guess. I like the little talk about the reptile people and ray guns and stuff to make him sound like he's just some crazy conspiracy theorist.
Convenient.
He used the word ray gun again. Yes. Knock it off.
Yeah, and I just want to know why on earth nobody at the end of this episode asked T'Pol what she thought of time travel.
I was also curious about that.
Yeah, it just seems like a real missed dialogue
because
opportunity.
they definitely said like I think I'm gonna convince you about that time travel thing. When Archer recruited her for the mission, so I don't know why it didn't get brought back up.
Yeah. So that wraps up the episode. What you guys think?
Okay. So
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up the.
So I started when I finished watching the episode. I enjoyed it enough where in my head I was thinking 3, and then after talking about it more and how much nonsense there was in this one, I'm down to 2. There was a couple fun moments, but yeesh.
Stanford.
Okay.
He gave it a 5, didn't he?
I did not give it a 5.
That would be hilarious.
I think I gotta go North Star in this. I think I need to give it a 4.
Why?
Okay.
So, again, I can't just call it standard Trek because they weren't really Star Trekking much. But the narrative was fine. It was tight. It was well.
No, it wasn't.
Executed.
It was not at all.
The narrative,
No.
the primary narrative of the plot of this episode was executed just
Which
fine.
was what?
Which is like the buddy cop nonsense between T'Pol and Archer and working with John. Who, Rob, did you recognize that guy, by the way, that actor?
The Loomis guy?
No.
I've seen him before.
He was in Alien Resurrection.
Okay.
Oh.
He's the guy who gets the chest burster in him.
Oh.
Yeah, and he grabs that one like soldier and chest bursts through his head. It's fucking awesome. Oh man, that movie's fucking stupid, but awesome.
It's awful.
It's not awful. It's definitely better than the third Alien movie. Anyways, the narrative was fine. I think they did what they were trying to do. My issue is mostly Braga shit, so I think I'm gonna have to pull it back down to a 3 because like
Okay.
it
Like I could be comfortable with a 3.
You set out to do something and you mostly pulled it off, but there were just some some inelegance to it that kind of brings it down.
Right.
I think that a more competent writer could have taken the same premise and made it a 4, maybe even a 5.
I'm with you on that one. I think the premise itself was fine. Like I didn't have a problem with that. It's just like it was so clumsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm more with Chris here. I was giving this a 2. I almost wanted to give it a 1 because it felt so lazy. Like so much of the episode was just very lazy, and I don't know. Like it was.
I don't see how this episode is lazier than most.
There's so much though. Like they outright admit they don't have a good reason for the whole start of the plot.
Yeah, like the actors say the thing.
That's been true of always with fucking Daniels. So like we know what we're getting. It's Daniels. Like it's time
disagree.
Travel.
I disagree.
It's time travel, and time travel is always nonsense in this.
Fair,
show.
That's true. But
Rob also gave Twilight a fucking 5. So like it doesn't matter.
Which one was Twilight?
The one
Old
where
Archer.
he had the time worms in his brain.
Okay, but like.
Oh yeah, I know it sounds bad when I put it that way, huh?
He gets RFK'd, yeah. No, it's
time RFK.
The time RFK'd, yeah. It's like I get what you're saying. I think there are degrees in it though, and this has a higher degree of clumsiness than most.
Yep. Like they were going to throw this thing into a fan, Stanford. That was their plan.
A perfectly executed narrative.
This is a 2 for me, dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All
right. We will be back for this week's deep dive. So, welcome back, everybody. This week, I'm going to be honest, it was kind of hard doing a deep dive on this episode. So this is more of a deep disappointment. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here first. This is the first episode of Enterprise to receive a TV-14 rating. Allegedly for the more adult themes, like having sex workers on the street.
I guess it's the sex workers. Yeah, maybe the abductions are a little specific because they're not just like beaming people off a ship or whatever. but it's definitely
Right.
probably the sex workers.
Yeah.
Although, wait, how did Regine not get a TV-14 then?
I don't know, man.
She was just running in skimpy clothing. That's totally different and fine.
There
Shut
were
up.
sex slaves.
It's totally
Literal
different and fine.
sex
Shut up.
slaves.
But they were alien sex slaves, not human sex slaves. It's fine. It's
She
totally
looked human
different.
enough to me. Shit.
Also, they've rescued them, so it's fine.
They rescued one of them,
They
Kind
rescued
of.
one, so it's fine.
and she turned out to be a traitorous bitch, just like every other alien on this show.
Yeah. So the Memory Alpha page on background info on this episode, I think, is pretty telling.
Is it
It's-
just like
it's
a history of Detroit?
No, it's a lot of what wasn't in the episode. Like, it's pointed out that there is no Phlox, no Travis, no Sato.
No Hoshi.
We don't get that's Sato.
Oh.
There's no visual appearance from Reed. We just get like a voiceover of him calling down to the captain when they get back. There are no scenes shot on the bridge, in sickbay, or in engineering, a first for the show. It's not really good when people notice all of the things that are missing instead of what you gave them.
Right.
Brandon
That's
Braga
just
would-
like your opinion, man. I don't know.
Brandon Braga said that he really liked this episode.
Yeah,
he
I'm
said
not
that-
fucking
Yeah,
surprised.
he fucking wrote it.
He
Yeah,
said that
I
it
like
was
all the shit I wrote
fascinating.
too.
Yeah. He said that it was fascinating that the antagonist turned out to be a human instead of a Zindi. The Zindi were still antagonists.
Yeah, as I say, that's not
Okay,
an instead of. That's
hold
in
on,
addition to.
hold on.
Right.
Is that a direct quote from him?
Yes.
He said that about his own writing?
Uh-huh.
What the fuck? That's like
yeah, he
me,
also-
like reading you, like I'm like, oh yeah, I wrote this story. I really like how the author did this at the end of it. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So this turned out to be the lowest rated by Nielsen score for the entire third season.
Yeah.
Like, nobody watched this episode.
So let's pretend that I don't know what a Nielsen score is.
Nielsen is how many people watched the show.
Oh,
when it's broadcast.
right, okay.
Yeah, nobody watched this particular episode. They blamed it on it airing on a holiday week.
Well, to be
I
fair,
beg to differ.
no. So actually, I think they have to be right because y'all remember what it was like watching TV back then. You didn't know what this fucking episode was going to be about until you watched it. So, like, are you watching Enterprise or not? You can't blame that episode for it's not getting views. It has to be
But
like the ones before it.
Dude, you got to remember too, though, back in these days, they used to advertise like the episodes of TV shows coming on that week.
No,
Like,
I
People would
understand.
have seen episode summaries about this
I
and
understand.
decided like,
But there's
I'm a
no
dip.
there's no way that a general summary of this episode looks bad enough. Because it's just like Archer and DePaul have to go back in time to 2004 Detroit to stop a scheme to stop a Zindi scheme. Like that's no different than any other blurb for this fucking show. You know?
Listen, your
So, like-
evaluation doesn't fit the narrative I'm trying to build here.
Oh, okay. I apologize. My mistake. I withdraw.
That's really it. That's the end of my rant. There are some interesting references through this episode. I don't know if you guys picked this up. There are a ton of Halloween references.
There were.
So
I feel like
Yeah.
I caught one of them, but I don't remember which one it was.
the director of Halloween, John Carpenter, Carpenter Street.
Carpenter Street, sure.
I forget that Halloween
Loomis-
was by Carpenter. I haven't watched Halloween.
Yeah. Loomis was a reference to Dr. Sam Loomis. It's Mike Myers' psychiatrist, who's like in every movie in the series, I think.
Sure.
Strode, the victim in the wheelchair, was a reference to Laurie Strode, the main female protagonist.
Huh.
One of the prospective victims that Loomis was going through was Mr. Myers, in like the scene right before Archer shows up. And then Loomis was driving a creepy old station wagon, just like Mike Myers.
All right, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie; those are terrible references.
Yep,
Like they're just
sure
not
are.
good.
Thanks, Brandon Braga. Thanks for all your hard work. More importantly, though, this goes back to the awful makeup that you were talking about. Jeffrey Dean Morgan played one of the Zindi in this episode.
Hmm.
This is the guy, for those unfamiliar, he plays Negan Smith on The Walking Dead and John Winchester on Supernatural.
John Winchester.
The dad.
The dad.
I never
17.
watched Supernatural.
I do
did
not
watch-
remember the dad at all.
I didn't know he played
Oh,
Negan.
yeah.
Who is he in Walking Dead?
Negan.
I'm not good with names. You got to give me
So he's the guy who bashes. Oh, spoiler alert, I guess.
for like a
I mean, it's been
20-year-old
years.
show.
Yeah. He bashes the one guy's head in with a baseball bat. Like he's like one of the big bad guys in the show. Like several seasons in.
He's like, well, pardon me, young man, excuse the
Yeah,
hell
that
out of my
one, yes.
goddamn French. Okay, that guy. Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
that
No,
guy,
no.
yes. Should have referenced the beam. Yeah, that's
Yeah. Like, I'm on TikTok. I know that shit.
Yeah, so he guest starred as one of the Xindi reptilians in this episode. He was quoted as saying that it was so unpleasant that he went home in tears one night after filming and nearly quit acting.
But
God
He needed,
damn.
yeah, he needed to have straws stuck up his nose. so that
Oh,
he could
you know
breathe.
what? Thinking about that actor, I don't know if he's done a lot of heavy makeup stuff. That is a talent that you have to like gain, you know.
Yeah. He also said that the costume was claustrophobic, and because of all of the makeup and the straws and the suit, you couldn't eat anything while you were in it. And like filming days last for like 12 plus hours sometimes.
They can, yeah.
So like you're just starving for days on end while you're playing this weird space reptile. So yeah, not a great experience apparently.
Poor guy.
that is interesting that he was. I didn't realize he was one of the Xindi. That's crazy.
It's weird
Yeah.
when a guest actor is so heavily makeup that you can't fucking recognize them, because it's like, what's the point of the guest actor?
Like, had he been in anything major at that point though? Like, he must not have been.
I don't
If he's playing
think
like
so.
Xindi number 2. I'm
Was Enterprise? Enterprise was before Grey's Anatomy, then, right?
Chris
yeah,
Evans
by
been
a
on
few
for a
years.
while, but
What's his name again?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Dean Morgan.
You recognize him now?
No, I did when you said, wasn't he in oh man. Oh, that's right. He was in Watchmen too. I forgot about that. He was good in that movie. Not a good movie, but he was good in it.
sure.
He's a good actor. I like him.
Yeah, he's fine. He has a range, but he's good in that range. Okay, let's see. So this is 2004. Oh yeah, 2003. Let's see. Before that, he was on a CSI episode, 3 episodes of JAG. Yeah, no, nothing good. He was on a Texas Walker Ranger.
I feel like being on a CSI episode is like a rite of passage for actors in their early career.
Oh, he was in one whole
Hey, honey.
episode of Sliders.
Wow.
Hey, honey, is that Dean Cain?
Is that Dean Cain? Him look like Dean Cain. The only show he was on with any kind of regularity is something called The Burning Zone, which I've never heard of.
I've also never heard of that.
Actor Daniel Cassian is appointed by the White House, not the White House, by White House, to lead a small top secret federal biological task force of leading scientists to investigate. That's the end of the sentence. I know. I would also like to know what they're investigating, but you don't get to know. That is the end of the sentence.
Well, he was.
What is with this blurb?
He was on Grey's Anatomy from 2006 to 2009.
Okay. Did he play like a gruff guy that beat the shit out of people? Like, I don't understand.
He was a patient that fell in love with Izzy. He passed away, and then there was a whole season where she was fucking his ghost.
Cool.
Taking a book out of Crushers.
As I understand it, that is not the only ghost fucking that happens in that show.
That's weird.
Look, Grey's Anatomy is a thing, okay? Where stuff happens.
I guess like when you're on the air for 17 seasons, like you're gonna start running out of ideas.
There's some medical drama, but also a lot of banging.
On that note, we're gonna bang on out of here. We'll be back for some potpourri in a couple of minutes here.
Yay!
Oh my
That was a quality transition. Good job.
Wow.
I've mastered the
What
segue.
a transition.
Welcome back, everybody. So, much like Rob, I didn't really have anything to specifically relate to this episode for the potpourri, which I know isn't a strict requirement, but I do like to sometimes keep them themed. So I figure we play a little game. I think that, so Chris, I do owe you an apology. Yeah, I think that I've been a little unfair with these music ones.
Oh, you're gonna fuck me again, aren't you?
So I think, like, I want to do it again because I want it to be fair. And I know, like, Rob's in the next room. So, no. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to play the recordings. And I don't want anyone to shout out an answer until the recording is over. Okay? So, like, that way it's fair. I guess, Rob, you're not in the next room, actually, but still you're closer physically. So, like, that way it's fair. I'm just going to play the song. And when it's over, we'll just shout out an answer. All right?
What is the theme of this game?
It's the theme songs from the shows.
We're doing this again. Jesus Christ.
But like I said, I just feel like I've been unfair to you.
Fuck you.
I
What did you do
swear
to
to
them this time?
God, this is gonna show up like on Kazoo or something.
What did you fucking do to them this time?
Hold on, I gotta get my shit set up here.
He's gonna like mute my audio so I can't hear him.
Share the screen. Isn't there a share screen button? It wants to stream Edge, but I want to stream Edge.
Hey, so just a little feedback, I guess. These tend to go a little long, so maybe try to not make this so long. Can you like shorten it up a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Tell you what. You both in? So what I'll do then is we'll just play them 90% faster. Here we go.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What?
This is a fucking setup. I hate you.
We'll start with
Enterprise?
That's correct.
What?
I was like, there's vocals.
Oh, I did not hear that. Like, I got nothing.
Do you have
I didn't
do you
hear
have the
anything
stream
either.
muted?
It was muted, yeah.
All right, well
No.
that'll be a freebie. Mariah, make sure you don't have the stream muted.
Yeah. I
Was
fixed
it loud enough, Rob?
Not really. It was kind of quiet.
Okay, I can turn that up. Stand by.
I was like waiting for you to play it and I didn't hear anything. I'm like,
I'm playing the same one again so you can hear what this sounds like.
okay.
Like it sounds like you're playing The Big Bang Theory.
My ears
Oh my
are
gosh.
Is that too loud, Chris?
That was awful.
bleeding. I'll turn it down on my end. That's fine.
Oh, because
Maybe I just have it quiet. I don't know. Oh, I do.
Oh, God
it's
damn it!
funny.
I'm sorry. Hold on, let me play that one again. Just like I'll fix. Oh God, I'll fix the sound. Sorry, I had it down. But Rob's like, it's too quiet. Is that better?
I mean,
Define better.
I was gonna say it's all noise.
But like, was it too loud?
It was tolerable, yeah.
Tolerable. Okay, great. All right, so correct. That was Enterprise. However, that will be a practice round.
TOS?
That's correct.
The old timey voice sped up gave it away on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's kind of that's the game here. All right, here we go. Number 3.
TNG?
No.
Picard.
Yes, Picard. Good job.
Oh.
I just started watching Picard.
Ah.
That'll help. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's one each then. All right. Let's do this one next.
Voyager?
DS9.
It was DS9. Yeah.
DS9. Damn,
It's
that
the
was my other
horns,
thought.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. See, my problem is I always skip the intros.
See, this is why you don't skip intros. All right, here's the next one.
So I can win Stanford to die. Animated series?
That's correct.
Oh, damn. I should have
Yeah,
guessed
I'd
that.
say it had a whole timey voice that had to be animated series because we already hit TOS.
We already had TOS.
All right, that's 2 each. Tied up. Here's the next one.
TNJ.
Yes, that
Please.
was TNG.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard Sean, or not Sean, Patrick Stewart.
Sean. I heard Sean. Right?
Voyager?
Mm-mm.
I was also going to guess Voyager.
You would also be incorrect.
Was it Discovery then?
Disco?
No, it was not Disco. That was Prodigy.
Oh.
Okay, let's do this one next.
Strange New Worlds?
That is
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. Can I even win at this point?
Yeah, there's 3 left and you're 2 behind.
Okay. Lower Decks?
No,
Oh, that's what I was going to guess. I don't know.
that one was Voyager.
Voyager, yeah, that was my other guess.
Oh. Disco.
Disco is correct.
All right, we can stop now.
No. We had the last ones were 2 points.
But the last one. Lower Decks is the only thing that's left.
Then say it.
Lower Decks.
Yay! Chris wins.
Wait, what?
No, I would have tied it if that was true.
Nuh-uh. Those were 3 points. I don't fucking know.
It's worth however many points Chris needs
All
to
right,
win.
I can't think of another way to fuck with Chris on this, so that'll probably be the last time, although I
Thank
make no promises.
No, you got to play them, but real slow. Or you could do what they do on like Preston and Steve, where you only get like a 5-second clip from the song.
Oh, yeah. No, I think condensing the whole song into a 5-second clip is definitely the better way to do it. All right, so yeah, that'll probably be the last time, especially since Chris is probably at the end of any kind of patience he has with me. All right, anyone got anything else?
Nope.
I like music.
I also enjoy music. What we
Do
have
you? Do
What
you?
we have been subjected
Do
to
you?
does not qualify.
It is technically music.
It originated as music.
What I kind of want to do is do one where, like, I take the themes from the movies, but I don't know that y'all would be good enough at that.
Oh, man. I wouldn't know any of the original Star Trek movies. I haven't
'Cause
watched them in a long time.
Oh, man, because they all have their own themes.
Wild.
And, like, if you heard the Wrath of Khan theme, you'd be like, oh, shit, yeah, this is Wrath of Khan. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody, for, putting up with me on that. As we say at the top and the bottom, give us a like, give us a rating. Go ahead and throw some 5-star ratings. I know there are people listening to this. I know you're listening.
Just because they've downloaded it doesn't mean they listen to it.
I know there are people listening to this. So if you could just go and give us a 5-star review on like Apple Podcast or Spotify or Podcast Addict or whatever you use, I would love you forever. I mean, it's not really fair because I already love you forever, but I love you even more.
Extra love you.
Extra love you. Thanks again, everybody, and we will catch you all next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Captain's Log Supplemental. You can follow us on Twitter at PodCLS or send us hate mail at podcls3@gmail.com.